Hello, everyone. Welcome on this edition. And tonight I'm very privileged to be joined by the one and only Alex Quinn. Alex is a PGI consultant, and she will tell you more about that later. I know that a lot of us over the years have become accustomed to the secret, or known as the law of attraction. And the law of attraction has become this manifestation, law of the universe goal that we are all aspiring to in trying to transform our lives. But I know that some of us have missed a bit here and there. So tonight we're very privileged to have Alex because she's going to share with us some of the pieces that we might be missing and what we can do differently in order to manifest our desires. So before I go any further, please help me welcome Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Roberta. Thank you so much for having me here. I think your audience are so lucky because you're always looking for ways to add value and help your audience to improve their skills. So thank you so much for having me here.
We are really grateful to be here, and we're really looking forward to finding out exactly what we've been doing wrong or what can we do differently, because you understand the laws of the universe much better. So first and foremost, the law on everyone's mind. Why do I visualize and do affirmations as I've been taught, but I don't seem to manifest what it is that I desire? What is it? What is it that I'm not doing right?
Yeah. So there are a lot of people know about law of attractions, but in fact, the primary law is the law of vibration. So law of attraction is a secondary law. Law of vibration is the primary law. For example, if you are vibrating at the vibration that of frustration, I'm not manifesting the one that I want. And if you at that vibration, you are actually attract. That's the law of attraction, attract what you are in harmony with. So when you are in that vibration of frustration, in the vibration of dissatisfied, then you attract more of that you don't want in your life. So you cannot have a message giving out to the universe. If you're consciously thinking, I want that, and subconsciously thinking was like, oh, why is it not working for me? It's not working. I try this, and it's not working. So you are actually consciously and subconsciously giving a mixed signal to the universe.
All right. So we are vibrating differently than the things that we hope to attract. So now the question becomes, I don't know if about anybody else, but personally, I've heard more of the law of attraction than the vibration. Why is the vibration part not as emphasized as much?
I'm not quite sure why is it not as emphasized as much, but because the movie The Secret is talk about the law of attraction. Right. And so that people know about law of attraction a lot more than law of vibration. So for example, to manifest the things that you want in life, then you gotta get on the frequencies that in harmony with what you want. If you are coming from a place that I am happy, I am loved, I am prosperity, and that bring out a different vibration to your body, and you will attract more of that. So be grateful. That's why a lot of people talk about gratitude journals. When you are in the vibration of gratitude, you attract more to be thankful for. So you attract more things you would love to have in your life, because the vibration of gratitude is in harmony with abundance.
So yes, I do hear a lot about the gratitude, feel grateful, you'll attract more of what you, or if you are already grateful for what you have. But take people with challenging circumstances. how do they train themselves to feel grateful when physical evidence doesn't show much to be grateful for? What is it that they can do in this situation?
It's hard, but it's hard, but
Mhm.
that is when law of polarity comes in.
All right,
Law
that's a new
of
one.
polarity states that whatever, you can always find the polar opposites for whatever you are experiencing. So if you are at the rock bottom of your life, look for the opportunity. You're not experiencing this for nothing. You are experiencing this for something that's going to take you so up high. You got to bounce back. That's the opportunity for you to bounce back quickly and create an amazing story to inspire others, to help others who was at the same place as you, to help them to create the abundance that belong to you. So look for the opportunity in the place when you are experiencing adversities.
All right, so far we've heard of 3 laws. We've heard of the law of polarity. That's a new one for me. I don't know how many people are familiar with that one. We've heard of the law of vibration and the law of attraction, which just about everyone who's watched the movie The Secret knows about. So what if, now that I know these 2 extra laws, so to speak, what do I first do when I wake up in the morning and I want to be more active in how I'm supposed to feel, in how I want to feel? What is the first thing that I do in trying to live according to these 3 laws, the law of polarity, the law of vibration, and the law of attraction?
But there are so many laws. In my series, I actually share only 10 laws, but there are more. So there are a lot more. Well, to answer your question, how can you get yourself to the vibration that you want to start your day right? The first thing I do is write down my goal, where I set the tone. This is my goal, and this is what my intention, what I wanted to achieve. And then I set the intention of my day. What are the things I can do today to help me to move towards my goal? And I'd also keep a gratitude journal. I write down what I'm grateful for, because when you are actually writing down what you're grateful for, you're actually letting your mind to pick all the treasure that you already have. Look for the things you already have and be grateful for the things you already have, rather than focus on what is missing.
Is it almost like retrieving like files from the back of your mind, like from a filing cabinet of the stuff that you're grateful for?
Or you're grateful for today. You're grateful for that you are waking up.
Right.
You're grateful for you have a wonderful family, or you're grateful for you have a room to stay. And you have this moment to concentrate on what you love to have in your life.
Okay. If you just joined us, we have Alex Quinn visiting us here today in order to share some of the laws of the universe stemming from the movie The Secret. Obviously, there's more that we'll be discussing today, and you can understand where you've been missing some of the pieces of these puzzles when it comes to manifesting the life that you desire. So back to you, Alex. If I have been, you say that you shouldn't focus on the things that you want. There was a meme a friend of mine sent a few days ago where she said, one moment we are told, fight for what you want, act, take action, do this, do that, work tirelessly until you get to your goal. And then on the other hand, somebody comes and says, just visualize it and just meditate and visualize and feel like you already have it and it's going to happen. And the meme was like, so what do we do? Do we fight or do we visualize? So if somebody were to ask you that question, what exactly, where are we supposed to be going in order to work in connection with the laws of the universe, so that we work in harmony with them, and so that we can manifest the lives we desire?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it is a very contradicting, but it's not contradicting because one is what we have been taught.
Right.
What is the status quo? Is money doesn't grow on a tree, right? And life is, you don't put in the efforts, you don't get the result. Yeah. So you gotta work harder. You want more money, you work harder. You work longer hours, and that is commonary. Everyone does that. It's commonary thinking. But when we realize the power of our mind, then we live from inside out, not outside in. Not letting the outside circumstances to control you, not letting all the bank accounts, the last year's financial statements, your last year's income to dictate what you're going to have for next year. That is what commonary.
Okay, so just on that point, because a lot of people are asking themselves, so if I only have $50 in my bank account and I'm supposed to have $4,000 to pay rent, buy groceries, and feed my kids, how do I look at the $50 balance on my bank statement but feel like I already have the how do you correlate the two and feel like I already have the 4,000 but I'm looking at 50?
You're gonna come from your mind, your goal already achieved. So $50 in your bank account, that was created probably a month ago in your mind. Probably a week ago in your mind. That was created in your mind. So everything created twice. Once is in your mind and once in reality in the form. So that was if you keep thinking about this $50 and how am I going to pay bills, and you're thinking about bills, you're thinking about how am I going to pay this bill, maybe I pay water bill first, maybe I pay electricity bill next week, and maybe I can move money here, move money there, and you're thinking about your audit, your thoughts. You are thinking about bills.
So during those moments, how am I supposed to think? What is the right thing to do?
You're going to come from a place of abundance. You got to have the faith that
somehow I'm going to be able to pay all my bills despite the numbers not looking the way they should.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to have the faith that, well, I was brought to this world to do these things, or I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing everything right. I'm putting out good. Even though I do not receive the amount of money in my bank account right now, I have the faith that the money will come into my bank account in short amount of time. And I keep putting out the good. I keep staying on this gratitude. I'm so grateful I have $50 in my bank account. And I'm so grateful that I have the support that I needed to live the life I love living. I'm so grateful I will have whatever I need to live the life I love living. Because I am doing good. I am putting out good. When you putting out good, you receive good.
It reminds me, what you just said reminds me of a book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I read it a few years ago, where he talks about you can look at the $50 and your logical mind is asking, how am I going to I'm going to need $4,000 to pay for my rent and my kids, etc. How am I going to do this? He said, just imagine the outcome. Don't worry about the how. Let the universe worry about that. Is that where you're going with that?
Yes, that's exactly where we're going. And you got to keep your mind, doesn't matter what happens with the circumstances, you got to keep your mind, that's my goal. I am a millionaire. I am doing this. I'm helping people with whatever skill that I have. And I am have full faith in what I'm doing. Okay, so when you have that, and I'm grateful for whatever I'm having now, and stay at that vibration, and you make a decision. Lots of people don't know how to make decisions, and that is another part of the puzzle. Is you got to make a committed decision. You do whatever it takes. For example, Bob Proctor, he doesn't have he was in debt. He was earning $4,000 at the time when he was 26, right? And then he actually earned $6,000. So he's always in debt. It's not because he's not an honest person. He has a good person. He just don't know how to come up with the money to pay the debtors, to get the debtors out of his back. But he has a faith when Ray Stanford come into his life and introduced the book of Think and Grow Rich. He has the faith that if he do exactly what Ray Stanford tell him to do, follow the book and read the books and do exactly what the book tell him to do, and he will improve his financial situation. He wrote down on his goal card, on his first goal card, that he's going to earn $25,000 when he was just earning $4,000 and have $6,000 of debt. But he had the faith that he didn't believe himself that he would get it, but he believed in Ray's belief in him. And he believed in that system, in it will produce the result that he wants. So you can sometimes borrow someone else's belief.
Right. You can use someone else's belief as inspiration for you to start believing in your life as well. Would you mind sharing an experience in your life where you've applied the same principle or the same laws of the universe?
So when I just started with this being a PGI consultant, I actually don't know how it's going to turn out. And I was an accountant, and I was
doing that for.
I was an accountant for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And in that 20 years, I was trying my hardest to climb the corporate ladders.
Like most of us.
Yes, and my paycheck just incrementally increased. Yes, it paid the bills, but internally, I was so miserable. And internally, I feel so exhausted. And I feel so broken and empty. I don't know why. I was like, from external look at me, it was, oh my God, Alex is doing great. And she worked in Big Four, and she worked at in big banks, and she's having amazing family, but no one knew while I was actually on the edge of divorce. Wow. And my kids actually suffering. They had emotionally unstable, right? And my daughter actually was bullied at school, and because the emotion instability that she's going through, and everything just seems like falling apart at the time.
And did you try and figure out, sorry to interrupt you, did you try and figure out, with your common sense, why is, or did you think, oh, it's just life, sometimes it happens? What was your thinking process at the time?
I was very curious. What's going on with me? I was trying everything to understand myself. I went through a psychologist, and I was diagnosed with anxiety. I was diagnosed with depression, and I had suicidal thoughts. And because the pain was so big that I thought I could not continue to live. And so I went through all this journey. I talked to counselor, I talked to psychologists, I talked to different medical experts, and which led me to mental health. And I also got my mental health first aid certificate just a few months, 6 months ago. And so I went through all that to really discover what's happening with mental health and with what's going on with me. Why am I having this
very big issue? A lot of people are going through that right now. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And no one can answer me. No one can answer me. So, and then the worst thing is, I got my retrenchment letter.
In accounting?
Yes, and
After 20
everything
years?
after 20 years, in the
Wow.
mid when I'm in the deep depression, anxiety, and having suicidal thoughts and everything falling apart, and my retrenchment letter came around that time.
Question, do you think what was going on in your life was affecting your work negatively? Maybe that's why the retrenchment letter?
No, it
Wow.
just happened with the work restructure, and it
Oh, okay.
happens with everything. It has nothing to do with my performance, but it was just the restructure
Oh,
of the
okay.
company.
All
And
right.
because in accounting, a lot of time they are cutting costs. For a company, is a cost division, and they're trying to replace with automation and offshoring and all that type of cost cutting strategies. So that
Interesting,
retrenchment
because that's
came.
what an accountant's job is, and that they'd retrench you guys.
Yeah,
How ironic, yeah.
but the thing is, it had I have the ability and I have the capability to find another job very quickly
Right.
in any other firm or any other big company because the experience that I had. But because I was so curious about what's going on inside with me, and I went on this self-discovery journey, and there's some little callings inside me. I felt it. Is this a calling and say, Alex, you experienced this. It's not for nothing. You are experienced this for a purpose. And I look at my life, my 20 years of life, living in that box that I created for myself. And I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I look for the opportunity. I just do use the law of polarity. Unconsciously, I using it. And I look for the
Sorry, the
opportunity
law of
in
what? Just repeat that.
polarity.
A law of
Polarity.
polarity. Okay, just
Yes.
before you continue, Alex, if you just joined us, we have Alex Quinn sharing with us the laws of the universe and how you can use them to manifest the life of your dreams. So far, we have learned about the law of attraction, which a lot of people are familiar with. We've learned about the law of vibration. We've learned about the law of polarity. Okay, and apparently there's more than 10 laws of the universe, but we will get to the ones that we need the most tonight. Okay, please carry on.
So I used the law of polarity unconsciously at the time. I looked for the opportunity around this chaotic period of time. I was like, well,
So
I'm not
just to recap the law of polarity, you felt like you were at rock bottom. So the polar opposite is the top and you push yourself to go to that. Is that how you explained it?
It's look for law of polarity is like there's always a polar opposite. There's an in, there's an out. Is there up, there's a down. There is a left, there's a right. So there's always a polar opposite. And I look for that. And I said, I'm going to use this experience to help others who are still stuck in the box to come out of the box. And that is why I experienced this pain and suffering.
What's the difference between that and using your experience to learn a lesson or find or ask the why or find the purpose? Is that what sometimes when we hear that, is that what we were doing at the time?
Yes, absolutely. I asked the big question, who am I? Why am I here on this planet? What is my purpose? And I asked all those big questions during my self-discovery discovery journey.
Right.
And I realized I experienced all this pain and suffering because my purpose is to help others not to experience this, not to track themselves in to a position where they don't want to be for 20 years.
And where did that answer come from?
When you ask the question, you always receive. But most of the time, people don't ask the question. How often do you ask, who am I? How often do you ask, why am I here on this planet? How often do you ask, what is my purpose? So when you
Would
ask,
just carry on, sorry.
when you ask those questions, the
Mhm.
answer come to you, and answer in your intuition. As
Right.
intuition, where that is the God talking to you, or the universe talking to you, and it's whisper. It's whisper. If you listen to the noise, it's so loud. Outside noise and paradigms and everything, so loud. They're talking so loud. You can't do this. Your friends telling you, no, that's not you. Your parents tell you that's not you. And your spouse tell you, you don't.
Yes.
That's not, you don't have what it takes.
Mhm.
Everything that's so loud. But the intuition is talking very whisper. You are here for more. You're not here for just experience this pain for nothing. You're here for more.
Mhm.
And that just, you gotta really tune out and then really listen to that little voice inside you.
What are some of the things we can do to quiet the noise stuff? Because it's a lot of noise, not just noise physically, but even within it, even me sitting here quietly, there's just a lot of noise. There's a lot going on in my head. So how do I quiet the noise so that I can listen to the very intuition that gave you that answer?
That is a mental muscle that you constantly trying to develop. And just like when we go to gym, the more we use this muscle, the stronger it gets. The more we use our intellects, including intuition is one of the intellects that we have. The more we use that, the more we can pick up that voice. The more.
How do we develop that muscle? If I start thinking, oh, I can't do this, oh, this is hard. So how do I switch? What are some of the techniques I can use to switch?
Ask yourself, what do you want?
Okay.
What do you love?
What do you want? Sorry.
What do you love to do?
Oh, what do I love to do?
What do you love the situation to happen? If things not happening the way that you have all this, stuck in traffic, all these things, you start to think, what would you love to happen now, right?
While I'm stuck in traffic, I'm thinking, I would love to just be flowing on the highway with no cars in front of me. What is it that you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, then you put yourself in that mode. Even though you're stuck in here, you're flying, you play these mental games, right?
What are some of the things I can practically do? Do I play music in my car?
Yeah, whatever you motivates you, whatever motivates you. When you get onto that frequency, you start to think, it's not too bad to stuck in the traffic. I'm so calm. I can practice my patience, and I can practice maybe listening to some of the music that I love. I have this moment to be able to let my mind, let my imagination. Then your whole state of being changed, and things will happen.
Here's my question, and I think some of us have witnessed those kinds of people where, everybody would be going crazy, and then you just have this happy-go-lucky kind of person in the middle of a crowd that's going crazy. But don't we sometimes accuse them of being a little insane? Because if that's what we do, then everybody else is going to think we're insane if everyone is complaining about the traffic and you're the one dancing.
How does that matter to you?
Right.
What others think, or what others view, or their opinion has nothing to do with you.
Excellent point. So if you just joined us, Alex Quinn is teaching us about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, and the law of polarity. And just one latest nugget: do not care what people think, just raise your vibration and handle the circumstances differently. All right, please continue, Alex. So what is it? So that those are the three laws, and based on what you've explained to us, what is it then when okay, so you've given us techniques on how to raise our vibration. So how do we then, after raising our vibration, start to attract what needs to come into our lives so that we have the lives that we've always desired? What are some of the things we can do in order to do that?
that happen by law. So when you are stayed on that vibration, you must attract what is in harmony with that vibration. That
Do I
is
think
law
about
of-
it all the time? If I want to attract this Lamborghini, do I think about the Lamborghini all the time? Do I have a picture of a Lamborghini on my refrigerator door? What is it? Or do I just sit and say, I'm happy, whatever it is, the universe knows what I desire, it's going to come to me. What is it that I should actively do, if anything at all, other than raising my vibration?
Well, so here's the key, and here's people distinguish people who get what they want and people who do not get what they wish for. So the difference between you wishing and hoping for something and you are committed for that. So when you are wishing for that Lamborghini and you're hoping that Lamborghini will come into your life, that you do what is convenient for you. Well, to get a Lamborghini, you gotta do this and this and that, and you might need to take some actions, and you say, I'm so scared, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, and that belongs to the rich people, it does not belong to me. Then you do what that is, wishing and hoping. That's what things falling apart.
Despite me feeling good all the time when I think about it, is that
You're not committed.
Oh, so explain the commitment part again. How do we on a daily basis demonstrate the commitment to whatever the desire is?
Yeah. So when you are committed, you do whatever it takes.
Okay.
So in this Think and Grow Rich book, in chapter 1, last week, I shared a story of Edwin C. Barnes. He had this burning desire to be partnering up with Mr. Edison, the great inventor. He doesn't want it to be working for him, but he wanted to be business partner with the greatest inventor. But he never, number one, he never met him. He don't know Mr. Edison in person. Right. And number two, he was so broke. He has no money even to pay for the train fare to see Mr. Edison. Number three, he himself has not ever invented anything. And so despite of all these three major difficulties, which would put off most of the people, but he has this vision. He is willing to commit the remainder of his entire life to live for this one purpose, to become Mr. Edison's business partner.
So commitment means doing whatever needs to be done, whatever it takes in order to get to the goal. And in my mind, I keep thinking it's going to happen. I can visualize it. I can see it. While I'm acting, I can see it. Is that basically what you're saying?
Are you feeling it? Are you acting like that? Well, are you feeling that you are driving a Lamborghini? Are you being the person who deserves and do whatever it takes to being that Lamborghini? That is the thing.
Becoming a person.
Yes, a lot of people, they have these misconceptions. They think when I have the Lamborghini, then I will be able to do this and I'll be able to enjoy life and I'll be the person. But that is wrong. You cannot attract things to happen that way for you. You first of all, you gotta be that person. You gotta be that person.
Like I already am a Lamborghini owner and conduct myself in the way that Lamborghini owners conduct themselves.
If you're owning a Lamborghini, would you be hesitating to invest a few $1,000s in yourself to increase the value of yourself?
Is that what Lamborghini owners do?
Yeah.
There we go.
Are you doing what the Lamborghini owners would do?
Right. Can you give us an example of I had this experience. I'm going to share it, but I want to hear from you first. When the law of attraction came out, the secret movie came out, and the whole idea of vision boards, right?
Yeah.
What can you say? Because earlier you told us about the subconscious retrieving files from, the back of your mind. What can you tell us about how subconsciously we think we do deserve or don't deserve something, and how it manifests later? And I have an experience, and my brother actually brought this to my attention, but I'd like to hear from you first.
So say the question again.
So if you have a vision board, right? Okay, let me just share the experience first, so that I can actually help you understand my question. So when the law of attraction came out, the secret came out, we were making vision boards with my brother, and he had a girlfriend at the time who he eventually married. And when they were making the vision boards, they both had wedding cake, all the wedding halls, everything, the flowers on the vision boards, and the travels and the cars and the homes, everything they wanted to have for their lives, right? And then my vision board had, funny enough, I wasn't living in Cape Town at the time. So I had because I love to travel. So I had a picture of Table Mountain and all the mansions at the foot of the mountain, they call it, by the Atlantic Ocean in Cape Town. I had, nice house. I love fashion. So some beautiful fashion pieces. There are all the stuff that I love. And I remember my brother, this is so real, so unreal. I remember my brother looking at my vision board, and he said to me, "Sis, wow, so you don't want to get married?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, there's nothing on your vision board about marriage, and yet you always say, "Oh, someday I hope to get married." There's no ring, there's no wedding dress, there's no cake, there's nothing. I'm like, "Let me see." I took my own vision board. I'm like, I actually didn't think about it. But guess where, a few years later, where I got the job in my country? I got a job in Cape Town. And I lived on the west coast of Cape Town. And guess what was my view? Table Mountain that I had on my vision board. And duh, I'm still here, and I'm not married, like my brother said. He said subconscious. You might say it with your mouth verbally, but subconsciously that's not in your radar. You didn't even put it on your vision board. I'm like, I didn't even think of the you know what I mean? So those two examples, the Cape Town manifesting in my life, and it was on my vision board. And even though I used to say I want to get married, and I didn't have any of that on my vision board, those two contrasts for me, that I thought that was amazing when my brother brought it to my attention. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, so whether you are be one with your vision board. So that is another key. So if you just like putting things on your vision board, just because you watched the movie The Secret, because it was recommended to do it, and you just did it for the sake of it, and you are not immersed with that thought. You're not immersed. You're not putting yourself in that. Oh, how can it look like? How is that life look like when I'm actually living in Cape Town? And if you're not immersed, be one with your goal, then you're not emotionally feeling it. And so when you are not emotionally feeling it, you're not getting into your subconscious mind. And you know what? Only 2 to 4% of our day are conscious, and 96 to 98% of our day is actually unconscious. We operate on the autopilot. We do what we always do, and we think the way we always think. When you are thinking is not changing, your result is not going to change. So when you are not immersing yourself into that, your vision board, like really seeing yourself living in the place you love, doing the work that you love, and having the dream car you wanted to have, you're not really emotionally feeling it. It's not in your subconscious mind, and it's not coming into form.
It's the
But
feeling.
if you are emotionally emerge with whatever love, and you impress that in your subconscious mind, whatever in your subconscious mind, it must be expressed into the physical form. That's by law.
So how do we make it deeply embedded in our subconscious minds? Just before you answer that question, if you just joined us, Alex Quinn has joined us here. She's talking about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, and the law of polarity. So how do we deeply embed that thought in our subconscious mind so that it comes back and replays?
And that requires a work. It requires the work on yourself. You gotta, like, there's number of ways that you can impress an ideas into your subconscious. One of the way is like emotional impact. That is just happened very fast, and you feel it, and it's like a bombing to your subconsciousness. It's just like a big event, for example, life and death event, or
those
something, car accidents, or some significant moment in your life. That is deep emotional impact. And
so
that is one way.
We don't need that much of a big life lesson to wake us up, but what are some of the things we can do on a daily basis in order to start putting different things on that file at the back?
Repetition. That is another manual way of reprogramming our consciousness, and you got to know what you're doing.
By repetition, sorry, Alex, by repetition, do you mean affirmations? What repetition? What do you mean exactly?
You got to consciously know what you're doing. You got to consciously reprogram it with the intention to embed an idea into your subconsciousness. That's why my program actually teach people how to reprogram their subconscious mind at a deeper level. And I have a system that Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher has validated through changing millions of people's life. And that is a proven system to be able to deliver the result and make permanent change. So 1 through you go through the whole system, and that is like at minimum 24 weeks, which is 6 months, to reprogram your subconscious mind. To make you embedded into a brand new you, like brand new self, so that you can achieve your goal. And that is repeated, that you can repeat that system multiple times whatever you want in your life. So you reach one goal, and then you can repeat the whole system, and you achieve, and then you can manifest your next goal.
Something else.
Yeah, because we are here on planet for constant growth. So it's not like something that you can do just overnight. Think about, you got to have understanding of how your mind works first, and then you got to understand what are the things that you need to do to actually reprogram your subconscious mind. And you need to do it every single day. It need to be held accountable. It's so hard to fall into your own self, because we can always give us green lights.
Yes. Look how many seminars and weekly retreats we go to when we are pumped up and I'm going to change my life, and you come back, you go back to your old ways. We do it all the time. So earlier you spoke about how you had mental health issues. You had depression and anxiety, and things were falling apart. You were on the verge of divorce. What is your life like now, and how did it move from that circumstance into the way that it is now?
So today my life looks nothing like the life I lived just a few months ago. So I'm doing what I love, and I'm feeling fulfilled and inspired every single day. And I'm helping people to transform their lives. And I have this privilege to do that. Who am I to do this? I was an accountant. I was nobody. I was on the edge of, broken. broken marriage and all this anxiety, and I was just like that before. But
Are you
now
still married?
Sorry?
Are you still married?
Oh,
Everyone's
yes.
wondering.
And I am, the spark in my marriage has been reignited, and my children are
Congratulations.
thriving at school.
Oh,
So,
good. Congratulations.
thank you. And the best of all is as a side product, I am now enjoy the level of financial freedom those big companies couldn't give me in 20 years.
Right. Wow.
That was just a
So
side product.
the financial freedom. So the work you did as an accountant, are you saying what you're doing now as a PGR consultant, helping people with the mindset, is that more fulfilling than what you did in big companies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have this privilege to change people's life for better.
Right. Just like yours changed. So before we go, just to wrap up, if you can just give us a summary of the 3 laws you spoke about today, and just one practical tip for each on how we can implement it on our daily lives and how people can reach you as well. So first, let's start with the laws.
So today we covered the law of vibration. That is the primary law, that everything vibrate at the frequencies.
Right.
We are in a ocean of motions. Everything vibrates. Even this pen I'm holding is actually vibrating at a certain rate. And that rate is called frequencies. And to attract the things that we want, we got to be on that frequencies.
Right.
That is the primary law.
Me, Lamborghini, I must vibrate at the same level that I attract a Lamborghini into my life.
That's right. You gotta be that person who owns that Lamborghini. You gotta do that person who's owned that Lamborghini. Whatever that person is doing, he must be doing something right. And you gotta do exactly what those people is doing. And maybe Tony Robbins doesn't become Tony Robbins overnight.
Actually, yes, he did. Speaking of Tony, he said, he was actually quite shy because he had a very rough childhood, and he said, I created the monster that you see on stage. I was never like that. I created that monster that go.
Because
he created that.
Yeah. So if you wanted to be that person and be a person that impactful people, like Tony Robbins, he doesn't want anybody to suffer the pain that he been through. Right. So he built a so strong desire to help others and to help them to change their situation, that to come out of their old self, that limiting belief that hold them back. So that's why he created what this person need to be, and that's why he worked for Jim Rohns, and then work for Jim Rohns, and he need to be out there to helping people. That's why he pushed himself to keep talking to different people, right? The first step was that he need to invest in himself. He doesn't have the money. He need to come up with the money to invest and to go to Jim Rohn's seminar.
From Jim Rohn. Just a fun quick note. I met Jim Rohn in 1997. He came to Cape Town. My mom and I flew down to Cape Town to meet him. Yes, I know the late old man. He was Tony Robbins' mentor, and then, I met him in person as well.
Yeah, the same like with Bob Proctor. He doesn't have he want to earn more money, but people tell him to earn more money, you gotta go on cleaning floor. You can earn more money cleaning floor. And he was like, I'm not proud of cleaning floor. But he did it because that's money is his goal, and he cleaning floor. You are not in detriment of others people. You're not hurting anybody else, right? But he cleaning floor, you're actually helping them to keep the office clean, right? So he do what it takes. Here's the key per action. If not, your life is not going to change without the action.
Take action. So don't just visualize and sit on your couch. You take action.
That's right. You do what this person do to take what the person would do. And so that is because they on the vibrations, like all of them, they say like gratitude. Like even Tony Robbins does gratitude, and Bob Proctor does gratitude, and so many people out there are just because gratitude is in the same vibration as abundance. So the more grateful you are, you attract more of that
abundance.
Grateful for and the abundance in your life. So it doesn't really matter. You only got $5 in your bank account, $50 in your bank account. Be grateful that you have that, right? So many people out there, they can't even have $50 in your bank.
So feel abundant without looking at the physical evidence, right? Explain to us the law of polarity again. So when you are at your rock bottom, what is it that you're supposed to do again?
Look for the polar opposite. Look for the polar opposite. There's always there's bottom and there is a top. So look for the opportunity hidden in this rock bottom situation you are in now. So I was in the rock bottom. I was like, really, I don't know where my life is going with all the drama and all the situation that I was in.
Right.
But I look for the opportunity. What's the opportunity here? That I am here for changing people's life. I am here. I'm not experienced this. I experienced this. I experienced this pain.
For a reason.
For a reason to help others.
So that raises you up and you find the purpose for the pain.
Exactly right. That's law of polarity.
Law of polarity.
Look for the opposite. If you are in a situation that you don't want to be in, look for what you would love to happen.
Right.
Look
I'm
for
stuck in traffic. I must put on some music or something to pump me up and not worry about and not be stressed about the traffic. I'll be worried about getting late to my destination.
Look for what you can do in this moment. Look for what you can achieve in this moment. What can you strengthen to help you to bring the vibration up, and things might change.
Right. So before we go, Alex, would you like to share any of your social media where anyone can find you if they want to know more about how you help people?
Sure. So I have a private Facebook group. It's called Dream Warriors for Better Life.
Dream Warriors. So let's say that slowly. Dream Warriors for Better Life.
That's right. Dream Warriors.
Okay.
So because
just Dream Warriors or Dream Warriors for Better Life?
Dream Warriors for Better Life.
Oh, okay. So the whole expression. All right. So that's your private Facebook group. So
that's
anyone who's looking for you can find you there. And will they be able to find some of the information you've shared with us tonight?
Yes, I will be sharing some of the information here. Yes.
Excellent. Any last words before you go so we can manifest the life of our desires?
Absolutely. So be you. Just be who you are. And sometimes ask yourself those big questions. And you listen to that quiet voice that whispering to you. And that is the universe talking to you.
Thank you, Alex Quinn. We are really grateful to Alex Quinn for joining us, for sharing those nuggets with us, and hopefully starting today, now that we understand the secret or the laws of the universe much better, we will implement them in our daily lives and be in connection with the universe so that we can manifest the lives of our desires. Thank you very much for joining us. I really thank you for your time, Alex. And I'm sure that everyone who's listening is going to benefit from the wisdom you've shared with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.